Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for the opportunity. Look, if I was to offer $20 to anyone, would anyone be keen on taking up that offer? Oh, there you go. Oh, sorry, it's a 50. Is anyone? Hand up again. No. What are you going to do with it?
Invest it.
Invest it. How are you going to do that?
You're going to tell me.
No. Well, they might as well stay with me in that case. Because isn't that true that if you want something, you want to do something with it, isn't it? Let me put this in the context. Last year, I gave away something in the region of $300 million. Now, it wasn't all mine, you understand. I'm on a couple of organisations which gives away money. One is the District Health Board, and so we wanted to give away money to people who would stop people from smoking, lose weight, don't die, all that sort of stuff. And one was the equivalent of the Auckland Electricity Consumers Trust you've got here, haven't you? In Tauranga, we, in addition to giving out the cheque that comes out as a rebate, we also give out money to community groups. And it's about, I don't know, 5, 10, 15, $20 million, something like that. And one of the things that struck me is that people go out of their way to help us to say no. We couldn't give away all the money we had available last year to community groups. We couldn't give it away. And why not? Because the community groups weren't organised. So I'm here today to say, at a governance level, how would you organise your group and show it in your application to get money? Fair enough? Keen? Hands up? Better than $50, eh? So I want you to imagine a director's chair. You know, one of those swivelly ones? Comfortable, or it might not be comfortable. Depends on what sort of organisation yours is. Plush, or it might be the basic sort of hard chair because you're a pretty basic sort of organisation. And it's got the 3 feet to stop you from falling over, the 3 feet at the bottom. And I want you to think about what those 3 feet might represent. And they're the 3 Ps. The people in your organisation, the purpose of your organisation, and the processes of your organisation. Because if you can get those and explain those in your application, you are halfway to getting money out of me. If you live in Tauranga. Your purpose. If your purpose is different from the purpose of the Tauranga Energy Consumers Trust, you're in trouble. No point in asking me for the money. If you don't do what I want to achieve from giving my money away, don't ask me, go and ask somebody else. Don't waste your time. Do something useful. In order to do that, you've got to understand what your purpose is, and it just worries me how many organisations don't really know what they're about. Well, surely they do, you might say. It's just, you know, the RSPCA, it's about animals, isn't it? Then why are they applying for money that has got nothing to do with animals? Because they've seen that we give away money for electrical equipment. So they've applied for electrical equipment, but they can't say how that helps their purpose. We're not interested anymore. The people in the organisation, are they capable of looking after the money that we give to make sure it achieves its purpose? If you can't demonstrate that in your application, you're in trouble. The processes of your organisation, are we sure that when we give you the money, it's not going to disappear down somebody's pocket that shouldn't go down? Is it going to achieve the purpose which you said it's going to achieve? What processes have you got in place? Do you get things audited or reviewed? If your constitution says audit, then it should be an audit. So those 3 Ps are the basics. But I said they only get you halfway there. Because if you think of the seat of the chair, that's where your V's are. Your vision, your values, and the vitality of the organisation. If you have no vision, then there's no point to existing. If you don't know what your vision is, you're in trouble. It's what the world will look like as a result of you existing. And if you can't explain that to me, then I'm not going to get excited about it. and I've got money in my pocket itching to get out and give it to you, and you can't get it off me because you can't say how the world will be different. And then I'm interested in the values, because I want your values and my values to match. They don't have to be the same, they have to complement each other. They have to achieve the same sorts of things. I want the world to be a certain way and people to act in certain ways, and your values have got to be something which is going to achieve that. But if you don't know what your values are, I'm worried about your organisation. I'm worried about whether or not my money's going to do what you say it's going to do. And one way I know that you've got your vision and your values working is because there's vitality in your organisation. There's an energy. There's going to be something magic happen. And we're aware, aren't we, of organisations where that magic is there, where there's an energy, where there's a vitality, where there's a vim. That says to me that even if everything else is not going quite right, there's something I should really look harder at. And sometimes we do. We see things on the paper and we say, we don't know what it is. It's not quite a yes yet, but there's an energy, there's a vitality, there's something in here which says we've got to give this money. And I'll give you an example of last week. We had an application from a little group who for the last 40 years has charged children $1 to ride around a circle on a train. Those the people from Tauranga will know the Memorial Park train. And they thought the circle wasn't enough. And so they've designed something which has got bridges and tunnels and the rest of it. And I'm going to get the number wrong now, but it was something like $100 and something thousand they needed. And it was a 2-minute decision. Because that group is, you just have to walk through the park on a Saturday and there's hundreds of kids. They put through thousands of children a year on that little circle. Imagine what if they had 2 circles. That's the vitality that can make it. It's worth dollars. That's worth dollars. Then you've got the back of the chair. And what does the back of a chair do? Stops you from falling off and you lean back, yeah? That's the stewardship. So that's the message about whether or not you're going to be careful with the assets you have. And the assets you have is the money I'm going to give you, but then it's all those other things. What are the 3 Ps? People, processes, purpose. Those are your assets. What are the 3 Vs? Those are your assets. And that way you can get money out of me. Fair deal? Yep. Brilliant.